Hey guys, it's Wendy here with Wendy's Plans, and today we're going to attempt to do a book review, and I'm going to tell you about this book, and hopefully I do a good enough job that we can continue to do book reviews. So guys, stick around. Alrighty guys. So first and foremost, I listened to this book on Audible, and I have read the hard book or in Kindle. This book is totally in the right now. So, with all of the identity theft and all the scheming behind it and everything, this book goes into depth and makes you really think um, what can be done. I mean, we all know that identity theft is prevalent and is crazy, and this is one person's story of what and how it changed her life. And the thing that I find about this is that the number 3 is very prevalent in this book, and I'll explain all of that. So first, I want to talk technical things. This book is read by January Lavoie. Now, I'm going to tell you, if she reads a book, I'm there. Her cadence, her reading, the way she reads, the speed at which she reads, her inflections, her character voices. She was and is, I'm assuming still is, an actress, and she narrates books. So she had a background in acting to begin with. And I think that helps with doing her narrations of books. I'm telling you, she is amazing. I never knew that she had voiced as many books as she had until I realized time and time again, I was like, I really like this person. I really like this person. I love any book that she narrates. I have not listened to one yet that I did not like. So for me, it was a 10 out of 10 for the whole presentation on Audible. Perfect. Now, this book starts in Baltimore, Maryland, and the main character is friends and roommates. She has bought a house. She works 2 jobs. She works her day job, which is with a construction company as an office manager, and her night job is a bartender at a local bar. And it's a sports bar, I believe, but I know it's a little bar. And she went to school to be in hospitality, and her goal in life was to eventually buy a bar and manage it, run it. That's what her goal is. But her grandfather passed and left her some money, and so she buys a house. And to support herself, she takes her roommate. So it's her and her roommate, and her roommate's boyfriend is involved at the beginning. And I said there's 3. And so they're the best of friends. They're tight. But one night she's worked, she's gone to the bar, and this person comes in. He sits at the bar. He starts a conversation, ask her questions about Baltimore, and she makes some recommendations, and he leaves. A few nights later, he's back. I'm going to turn this off. And he comes back. They talk some more. She's like, oh, he's really cute. And they just friendly banter back and forth. And so finally, he asks her out on a date to meet at a restaurant, a pizza place, and they will meet there. And so they do. And she kind of likes him. She goes home, and her and her roommate, who do not cook, decided that they're going to provide a meal for this gentleman. And I'm just trying to set the storyline up front that you're going to know from the very beginning. And it's the catalyst of everything that happens. Um, so he comes, and it's in the narrative of the book when you first read it. I'm not giving anything away. So they invite him to come to dinner with the three friends, the friend and the main character. Her name is Morgan Albright. And that's important because I'm going to flip you up so you can see my face since I'm not showing you the screen. Okay. So Morgan can be either a male or a female's name. So that's a very important thing about what's going on. And I'm trying to be very careful, guys, and not give you too much information. She grew up in military, and I know I'm skipping back. I want to give you a little bit of background for her. And she was a military brat, and she lived in multiple countries and states and all over the world. And her mom and dad got divorced when she was in her teenage years, and her mom eventually moved back with her grandmother, which would have been her mom's mom. So Morgan went to school, and she's got a job. She is now working two jobs. She's got a house. She's met this guy. They invite him to dinner, and her roommate's mother gives them a recipe to follow, and they divide and conquer, and the meal comes off. Everything just works perfectly, and they invite him there. And while he's there, he, on the pretense of going to wash his hands and to the restroom, he goes into her office and plants a program on her computer really quickly by thumb drive. And now he has access to all of her information. So they think everything is fine. The couple that's there with her, those are the three. I keep pointing out threes because it's very important. At least that's the way I saw it. And he says that he gets a phone call and he's going to be out of town for a few days. Not to worry, when he gets back, they'll catch up and have dinner again. Well, then she doesn't hear from him. And so she's like, I don't know what's going on. He keeps, making these, he's not coming back or whatever. He's with this job. And then her roommate gets sick, comes home from work early, and she comes downstairs, and he has broken in the house to retrieve the information, and he kills the roommate. That is when her world crashes, because that's when they find out he has stolen her identity. And so the FBI gets involved, and he had gone so far as to take out a second loan on her mortgage. He maxed out her credit cards. He ends up stealing her car, and he sold that. He's wiped out her savings. He, um, I mean, he had her power and lights cut, or phone cut off, all her utilities cut off, as if, because when he would call and say it was Morgan, they didn't question it because Morgan could be a male or a female. And so he had all identifiers for her. So she's at the point where she's lost her best friend. And so now it's her and her best friend's boyfriend, and they're helping each other get through a really hard place. Now, she gets to the point where she doesn't have any recourse but to sell the house, get out of Boston. She's lost everything. He's taken everything, and the money is taken to fix everything through an attorney. She's had to borrow it from her grandmother, and it's just not where she needs to be. So she ends up going to Vermont, where her mother, grandmother, and her are the Nash women. And they live in a house together. And so it's 3 generations. And the majority of the book is going to take place in Vermont. And it will have flashbacks every time he goes and he kills somebody else. Now, this was his turning spot because he did not kill Morgan. So normally when he would go in and he would take somebody's identity and take their money and take loans out in their names, before he left them, he would kill the person that he took their identity. And so the FBI had him on their radar. They'd been looking for him. They had this team that had been looking for him for several years. And he had a type, and she fit his type, a generic name that could be male or female. She fit the description of who he liked. He liked blonde-haired women, athletic, really nice-looking women. And so he's doing his thing. He gets away, and then he hits bad luck. And so in his mind, his bad luck is because of Morgan. So Morgan moves up to Vermont, and she gets a job at a resort, and she is the bar manager. And the resort is the grandparents had started it, and then the parents, their children are involved in the running of it, and then their children are. So it's 3 generations there. It is just amazing at everything that goes on. It's I like it because it shows the multi-generational aspect of the whole book. It's a very powerful book because it makes you think about identity theft in a different way. And because he can't get over not killing her originally, he is always sending her gifts in a credit card he's taken out in her name, another credit card. And so her mom and grandmother have a art and wine shop. So the wine is a wine bar, and then they have arts and crafts, things from local artists in Vermont in their shop. And it takes you through all their struggles, her coming to terms with, growing up the way she did, and bonding that relationship with her grandmother and her mom. And she meets the love of her life, who is one of the children of the original owners of the resort. And it is just a really heartwarming. This book, I cried and I laughed. Um, it's building her trust and her boyfriend in the book who um, had gone through some issues, and it's him building his trust, and it's just a very heartwarming book. It's true, Nora Roberts. It's, something's going to happen, you just can't put it together. She always puts a twist. I absolutely love Identity. It's up at the top of one of her books for me. I hope you guys will read it. um, it's just a really good book. And I will bring you the next book that I bring you a book report on. I will, maybe I'll actually buy a book, guys. Have a physical book. Um, but this book, if I can just tell you, the thing that really was heartwarming was how these three women bonded. It was and it was an unbreakable bond, and it was the bond that she finally made with the people that she met in Vermont. And even though that's not where she wanted to be, it was not her life's goal. um she fell in love where she was in her life. She fell in love with her career, and she was made a part of another multi-generational family. And so this person who really didn't feel like she had any family other than a grandmother and a mother, it just really um, was just heartwarming. It was just really a good book, and it was one that makes you think about identity theft in a whole other way. It's not just, somebody taking over your social media account, or, you know, it got very involved in the whole finances of the worst case scenario of what could happen. So, guys, Nora Roberts' Identity, I highly recommend it. I would say, I hate to give a star rating, but if I was going to do a star rating, I would say a 4.5 to a 5. It just was an awesome book, and you should read it. So, guys, until next time, bye bye.